At this point, I think everybody has just kind of realized that Marvel Studios was just outright lying to us in how important Loki was in terms of impact on the entire MCU. And when it comes to something that's brought up frequently in Loki, that's the idea of the Multiverse War, and what happens and what caused the first one and what could cause a new one. And coincidentally enough, literally the ending of the series is the start of the MCU Multiverse Wars. So if you go all the way back to the first episode of Loki, where the TVA and Miss Minute are explaining the Multiverse War, this literally is a truthful explanation of what happened. And this is later confirmed by Kang when he is sitting down and talking to Sylvie and Loki, where he confirms that multiple Kangs would all converge and find the TVA, and then they all realized that maybe we can't really have peace amongst one another because some of us are going to try to take out the other ones. Some of us want all the powers. Some of us want to be the conqueror. Some of us want to control all the multiverses. One Kang ended up winning, and he created the sacred timeline. And again, as they say in those videos and multiple times throughout the series, if the timeline, the sacred timeline, is allowed to fall out of order, everything starts up again. Kangs are allowed to live. Kangs are allowed to show up in all of these different versions of the multiverse, which will once again lead to a multiverse war, which we had before. Now, at the end of Loki, when the statue of the Timekeepers is replaced by Kang the Conqueror, well, Kang has already made his move and took everything over. Meaning that, as we discussed before, and people are going to continue to discuss with every new project and every new revelation, the Multiverse War now is already happening. Because Kangs are going to go after other ones, because their ultimate goal now is to become one Kang, try to restore their own one timeline, and be the conqueror of everything. That's what they want. They want to stop themselves from taking them out. Because again, Kang, his ultimate enemy, is not the Avengers, it's always Kang. Even if you look back at the old comics, he literally will be foiled by himself from another timeline, or himself who try to make a contingency plan for himself. Kang is a very interesting and complex villain, and every retcon since the early days made him even more complex. So wouldn't it make sense if maybe some Kangs decided that in order to win, they have to assemble their own teams and start a war? Meaning that we are at the point where Kangs in different multiverses will start planning to assemble their own team of either Avengers or superheroes or villains or whatever, and pull the strings so they can go and attack other multiverses and take out other Kangs who are doing the same thing. So when you go back to the first episode and they explain the deep dangers of the timeline being ruptured, breaking up, and splitting, it's because it causes an all-out war among Kang factions. This is exactly what we see as the credits roll. So the Multiverse War has officially started in the MCU.